The scent of freshly baked cookies wafts through the air as I adjust the perfectly staged throw pillows on the couch. It's the little touches that make all the difference in this business. I step back to admire my handiwork, the open house ready to welcome potential buyers. As I turn to check on the refreshments, I freeze. Walking through the front door, bold as brass, are Lucas and Tessa, my ex-husband and his new wife, the woman he left me for. I plaster on my most professional smile, but inside I'm seething. Lucas smirks as he approaches me. Well, if it isn't Aria, still trying to sell houses, I see. Tessa chimes in, her voice dripping with condescension. I'm surprised you're still in this business, Aria. Lucas told me you were never really cut out for it. I bite my tongue, refusing to give them the satisfaction of seeing me rattled. Lucas. Tessa. What a surprise. I didn't expect to see you here. We're looking for a new place, Lucas says, his arm snaking around Tessa's waist. Thought we'd see what you have to offer. The irony isn't lost on me. Years ago, I supported Lucas as he built his law firm, pouring my heart and soul into our marriage. But nothing I did was ever good enough. He grew distant, critical, always finding fault. Determined to contribute and find my own path, I pursued my real estate license. Lucas belittled my efforts at every turn, telling me I was wasting my time. I should have seen the signs then, but I was too blind, too in love. When I discovered his affair with Tessa, his much younger secretary, I confronted him. He denied it, made me feel like I was going crazy. Gaslighting, they call it. I didn't want to believe it, but the truth was staring me in the face. The divorce blindsided me. Lucas filed, citing irreconcilable differences. What a joke. He moved in with Tessa before the ink was dry on the papers. I fought tooth and nail for a fair settlement, but he did everything in his power to leave me with nothing. I hit rock bottom, but I refused to stay there. I poured myself into my work, determined to succeed on my own terms, and I did. I became a top-selling agent, started my own agency. I made it my mission to help women like me, those going through tough times, find their dream homes and rebuild their lives. And now here I am, face to face with my past. Lucas and Tessa looking to downsize. I can't help but feel a twinge of satisfaction at the thought of their financial troubles. I put on my most professional face and guide them through the house, highlighting its features. Lucas makes snide comments under his breath, but I ignore him. Tessa seems distracted, her eyes darting nervously between us. As we wrap up the tour, I can't resist a little dig. I'm sure I can find you something that fits your budget. My business has been thriving, and I have a lot of high-profile clients. I'm sure I can help you out. Lucas's face reddens and he lashes out. You got lucky, Aria. You're just riding on my coattails. I smile sweetly. Luck has nothing to do with it, Lucas. I worked hard for what I have, and I did it all without you. Tessa shifts uncomfortably, and I can see the cracks in their perfect facade. This is just the beginning. They have no idea what's in store. The memories flood back as I drive home from the open house. Lucas's smug face, Tessa's cutting remarks. They're like a knife twisting in my gut, reminding me of everything I've tried to put behind me. I think back to our marriage. How I supported Lucas through law school, how I believed in him when no one else did. I was there for him every step of the way as he built his firm from the ground up. But the more successful he became, the more distant he grew. Nothing I did was ever good enough. He'd come home late, reeking of alcohol and perfume, and I'd pretend not to notice. I'd make his favorite meals, try to engage him in conversation, but he'd just grunt and retreat to his study. I remember the day I decided to get my real estate license. I was tired of feeling like a burden, of relying on Lucas for everything. I wanted to contribute, to have something of my own. When I told Lucas my plans, he laughed in my face. You? A real estate agent? Don't be ridiculous, Aria. You don't have what it takes. His words stung, but I refused to let them deter me. I studied hard, passed my exams, and threw myself into my new career. But Lucas never supported me. He'd belittle my efforts, tell me I was wasting my time. And then came the day I found out about Tessa. I stumbled upon a text message on Lucas's phone. A flirty exchange between him and his secretary. My heart shattered into a million pieces. I confronted him that night, my voice shaking with anger and betrayal. How could you do this to me, Lucas, to us? He looked me straight in the eye and lied. "I don't know what you're talking about, Aria. You're being paranoid. There's nothing going on between me and Tessa." I wanted to believe him. Desperately wanted it to be true, but deep down I knew. The late nights at the office, the secret phone calls, the way he looked at her when he thought I wasn't watching. I hired a private investigator, and the truth came out. Photos of Lucas and Tessa, caught in the act. I confronted him again, this time with proof, but he just shrugged and said, "I guess you weren't enough for me, Aria. I need someone who understands me, who supports my dreams." The divorce was a nightmare. Lucas fought me every step of the way, trying to leave me with nothing. He even had the audacity to claim that I was the one who had been unfaithful. In the end, I walked away with a fair settlement, but I was broken. I had given Lucas the best years of my life, and he had thrown it all away like it meant nothing. I hit rock bottom, but I refused to stay there. I poured myself into my work, determined to prove Lucas wrong. I would show him that I had what it took, that I could succeed without him. And I did. I became a top-selling agent, started my own agency. I made it my mission to help other women like me, those who had been knocked down but refused to stay there. But seeing Lucas and Tessa today, it all comes rushing back. The pain, the betrayal, the anger. I want to scream, to lash out, to make them feel even a fraction of the hurt they caused me. But I won't. I'm better than that. I'm stronger than that. I've built a life for myself. A life that Lucas can never take away from me. As I pull into my driveway, I take a deep breath and let it out slowly. I won't let them get to me. I won't let them win. I'm Aria, and I'm a survivor. And I'll be damned if I let Lucas and Tessa bring me down again. The divorce papers arrive on a Tuesday. I'm sitting at my desk, going over some listings, when the receptionist buzzes me. "Aria, there's a courier here for you. He says it's urgent." I sign for the envelope, my hands shaking as I tear it open. The words jump out at me. Petition for divorce. Lucas's name, bold and accusing, next to the checked box for irreconcilable differences. I feel like I've been punched in the gut. I knew things were bad, but I never thought he'd go this far. I never thought he'd just give up on us. I try to call him, but he's not answering. I leave message after message, my voice growing more and more desperate. "Lucas, please, can we just talk about this? Can we try to work it out?" But he's gone. I drive by our house only to find his car missing and a moving van parked out front. The neighbors give me pitying looks as I sit there, engine idling, tears streaming down my face. I find out later that he moved in with Tessa that same day. He didn't even have the decency to wait until the divorce was final. He just couldn't wait to start his new life with her. The divorce is a nightmare. Lucas fights me tooth and nail, trying to leave me with nothing. He hires the best lawyers, the most ruthless ones, and they tear me apart in court. I remember the day of the final hearing, sitting across from him in that sterile courtroom. He wouldn't even look at me, his eyes fixed on Tessa, who sat smugly in the front row. The judge bangs his gavel, and it's over. I walk away with a settlement, but it feels like a hollow victory. I've lost everything that ever mattered to me. I hit rock bottom after that. I can barely get out of bed in the morning, let alone go to work. I start drinking just to numb the pain. I push away my friends, my family. I don't want their pity, their platitudes. But then one day I wake up and realize I can't go on like this. I can't let Lucas win. I can't let him destroy me. I pour myself into my work, determined to succeed. I take on every listing, every client. I work harder than I ever have before, fueled by a fire in my belly that won't be quenched. And slowly, painfully, I start to rebuild my life. I find a new apartment, a cozy little place that's all mine. I make new friends, people who don't know my past, who don't look at me with sympathy in their eyes. I focus on my clients, on helping them find their dream homes. I specialize in working with women going through divorces, women who are starting over just like me. I become their champion, their rock. And as the months turn into years, I start to heal. The pain never goes away, not completely, but it becomes bearable. I learn to live with it, to use it as fuel for my ambition. I become a top-selling agent, start my own agency. I surround myself with people who lift me up, who believe in me. I find a new sense of purpose, a new reason to wake up in the morning. But I never forget what Lucas did to me. I never forget the way he tossed me aside like I was nothing. And I vow that one day I'll make him pay. One day I'll show him exactly what he lost when he chose Tessa over me. One day I'll have my revenge. But for now I focus on my work, on my clients, on building the life I deserve. I am Aria and I will not be broken. Years pass and I throw myself into work with a vengeance. I take on every listing, every challenge. I work longer hours than anyone else, determined to prove myself, and it pays off. My sales numbers skyrocket, and I become the top-selling agent in my office. My clients rave about me, recommending me to their friends and family. I specialize in working with women going through tough times, women who are starting over. I become their confidant, their guide. I help them find not just houses but homes, places where they can heal and rebuild. One of my clients, a single mother named Sarah, hugs me tightly at her closing. "I couldn't have done this without you, Aria," she says, tears in her eyes. "You gave me the strength to start over, to believe in myself again." Her words stay with me, fueling my determination. I know what it's like to feel lost, to feel like you've hit rock bottom. But I also know that it's possible to climb out, to build a new life from the ashes of the old. I start my own agency, surrounding myself with a team of driven, compassionate women. We become known as the go-to agency for women in transition, for those who need a little extra support and understanding. My business thrives, and I become a well-respected figure in the community. I'm invited to speak at conferences to share my story and my expertise. I even start a mentorship program for young women interested in real estate. But through it all, I never forget about Lucas. I never forget the way he betrayed me, the way he left me broken and alone. I keep tabs on him, on his law firm. I hear rumors of unethical practices, of clients who feel cheated and misused. I bide my time, waiting for the right moment to strike. I know that revenge is a dish best served cold, and I'm willing to wait as long as it takes. And then one day opportunity knocks. I'm hosting an open house for a high-end property, a stunning mansion with sweeping views of the city. I'm in the middle of showcasing the gourmet kitchen when I hear a familiar voice behind me. "Aria, I thought that was you." I turn around and there they are, Lucas and Tessa, looking older and more haggard than I remember. Lucas's hair is graying at the temples, and Tessa's face is pinched and sour. "Lucas, Tessa, what a surprise." I keep my voice cool, my smile polite. "I didn't expect to see you here." "We're looking for a new place," Tessa says, her eyes darting around the room. "Something a little more affordable." I raise an eyebrow. "Oh, having some financial trouble, are we?" Lucas scowls, his face reddening. "That's none of your business, Aria. We're just exploring our options." I smile, a slow predatory grin. "Of course. Well, as you can see, business is booming for me. I've got high-profile clients from all over the city, and my agency is thriving. I'm sure I could find you something suitable." Tessa looks uncomfortable, but Lucas just glares at me. "We don't need your help, Aria. We're doing just fine on our own." I shrug, turning back to the kitchen. "Suit yourself. But if you change your mind, you know where to find me." As they walk away, I can't help but feel a thrill of satisfaction. Lucas may have broken me once, but I've rebuilt myself stronger and better than ever. And now, seeing him struggling, seeing the cracks in his perfect facade, I know that my time for revenge is coming. A few days after the open house, I'm sitting in my office when my assistant buzzes me. "Aria, there's a Tessa here to see you," she says. "It's urgent." I feel a flicker of surprise but keep my voice even. "Send her in." Tessa slips through the door looking smaller than I remember, her posture tight, fingers worrying the strap of her purse. She avoids my eyes at first, then musters a thin smile. "Aria, I need your help." I lean back, studying her. "And why would I help you, Tessa? You and Lucas made it pretty clear you wanted nothing to do with me." She swallows. "We're having financial difficulties. His firm is struggling. We need to sell our house, and I don't know where to start." Her eyes shine with embarrassment. "You're the best in the business. Everyone says so." I want to laugh at the irony, at the universe's warped sense of humor, but I keep my face neutral. There's an opportunity here, and I'm not about to squander it. "Very well," I say, standing. "I'll take a look and see what I can do." No promises. Relief floods her features. "Thank you, Aria. You have no idea how much this means." "Oh, I think I do," I say softly. Over the next weeks I work with Lucas and Tessa to get their house market ready. My staging team neutralizes the palette, swaps heavy curtains for soft sheers, and turns the dated kitchen into a photo-ready showpiece. But even as the rooms transform, their marriage shows its wear. Lucas is short-tempered and irritable, snapping over minor choices, pillows, paint chips, the placement of a console table, while Tessa becomes increasingly quiet, her gaze always skittering to him before she answers a simple question. One afternoon as we're reviewing disclosures, Tessa touches my arm. "Can we talk privately?" I guide her into a small sitting room. She takes a breath, wrings her hands. "I don't know how much more of this I can take. Lucas, he's not who I thought he was." I feign mild surprise. "What do you mean?" Tears pool in her eyes. "He's controlling. Manipulative. He says it's my fault when he gets angry. I kept telling myself I could fix it, if I just tried harder." She shrugs helplessly. "I was wrong." A shard of sympathy edges in. I push it aside. This is the woman who helped detonate my life. But strategy doesn't require affection. It requires clarity. "I'm sorry, Tessa." I say, voice cool. "What do you expect me to do?" "I don't know," she whispers. "I just needed to tell someone." I feel trapped. I weigh my words. If you want things to change, you'll need to help yourself first. See a lawyer. Learn your options. And document everything: dates, times, what's said, what's done. Keep a record. It matters. She nods, sniffling. "Okay. I can do that." Days later, after another tense round of showings, Tessa speaks up from the back seat as I drive. "Aria, can we talk privately? Without Lucas?" I angle the rearview mirror to meet her eyes. There's a cafe up the block. I drop Lucas at their hotel with a promise to review offers later, then take Tessa to a quiet corner and order 2 lattes. She clutches the cup like a lifeline. "I've thought about what you said. Leaving. Starting over." Her voice shakes. "I'm scared, Aria. I don't know what he'll do." "You deserve better," I say. "Talk to that attorney. Start a journal. Photograph damage. Save messages. Back everything up off-site." I squeeze her hand just once. "You're not alone." She nods, resolve forming like frost. "Okay." From then on, our work splits in 2 layers. The visible layer: comps, pricing strategy, open house dates. The invisible: Tessa's growing ledger of incidents, timestamps and summaries. Discrete photos of holes in drywall and bruises the color of storm clouds. Voice memos describing the rage that crackles in the room after a minor slight. Meanwhile, I begin my own quiet audit of Lucas. I reach out to several former clients who've complained offhandedly at charity events and closings, cases that didn't go as promised, retainers that vanished into administrative fees, settlement funds that took suspiciously long detours. What starts as smoke gathers into a discernible fire. Inconsistent accounting, commingled funds, signatures that don't match. I build a file. Facts, not feelings. The day of reckoning arrives faster than I expect. I'm skimming inspection reports when my phone buzzes. Tessa's name ragged around the edges. "Aria, please, you have to help me." She's sobbing, words tumbling. "He found out about the lawyer. He's furious. He said he'll ruin me." I'm scared. "Listen to me." I say, already on my feet. "Leave now. Somewhere safe. Sisters, friends. Anywhere but there. Text me the address." "Okay. I'll go to my sister's. Please be careful." "I will." I drive to Lucas's office with a calm so taut it hums. The receptionist recognizes me. The door to his inner sanctum swings open at my knock. Lucas looks up from his desk, fury already sparking. "What the hell are you doing here, Aria?" I close the door behind me, set my bag on the chair, and offer him a cool smile. "I think you know." He stands, knuckles whitening. "You don't know anything. You're a bitter ex who can't move on." I slide a thick folder across his desk. "This says otherwise." I keep my voice even, almost clinical. "Former clients. Fee ledgers. Retainer transfers. Funny how the numbers don't line up, Lucas. Also, documentation of your behavior at home." I tap the edge of the folder. Dates. Photos. Messages. For a second, bravado falters. Then he sneers. "You're bluffing." "Am I?" I open the folder enough for him to see the top page. A spreadsheet of client disbursements that don't match settlement amounts, highlighted discrepancies cascading like falling dominoes. Beneath it, printouts of emails, notarized statements, a snippet of a bank record that should never have left his office. This is enough to pry open a regulatory review. If you ever go near Tessa again, or try to intimidate her, I'll make sure every agency with an acronym learns your name by sunrise. He comes around the desk too close, the coiled anger I know too well flaring in his eyes. His hand clamps around my forearm, fingers hard enough to bruise. You can't do this to me. I hold his gaze, voice low and steady. Watch me. He drops my arm as if it burns. You'll pay for this. No, Lucas, I say, gathering the folder. You will. I leave without another word. In the elevator's warped chrome, a ghost of the woman I used to be stares back, shaken, small. I square my shoulders until the ghost recedes. Tessa's sister lives in a tidy duplex on a quiet street, and when I arrive, Tessa is there, curled on a sofa under a throw blanket, eyes swollen. Her sister hovers in the kitchen, giving us space under the pretense of making tea. You did the right thing, I tell Tessa. You left. You're safe. She nods, tears threatening again. What if he? We're not guessing anymore, I say. We're documenting. We're building. We're protecting you. She draws a shuddering breath. Okay. As I drive home later, night folding over the city, I feel the map of the path ahead unroll beneath my wheels. Lawyers, filings, ethical complaints, a listing going live at a calculated moment, the narrative nudged, not manipulated but finally told, so that truth can find daylight. I think about how far I've come from the night I sat alone on my kitchen floor, hollowed out and certain I'd never feel whole again. Revenge used to taste like fire on my tongue. Tonight it tastes like focus. This time, I'm not the one being blindsided. This time I choose the timing, the venue, the terms, and this time I intend to win. The fallout from my confrontation with Lucas is swift and brutal. Within days, news of his unethical practices and abusive behavior splashes across every newspaper and local site in the city. His firm crumbles. Clients flee in droves and partners scramble to distance themselves, desperate to salvage their own reputations. Lucas himself is disgraced, his name becoming shorthand for corruption and deceit. I watch it unfold with a grim sense of satisfaction, knowing I played a part in the truth finally seeing daylight. But I also know my work isn't over. Tessa files for divorce and I help her find a new place to live. A small, sunlit apartment on a quiet street that smells like laundry soap and eucalyptus. She's scared and overwhelmed, but I remind her she's not alone. We spend long evenings talking through next steps, sorting documents into tidy folders, building routines that feel like solid ground. Tessa starts therapy. She signs up for classes to finish her degree. She learns to make soup from scratch and laughs surprised when it actually tastes good. I throw myself back into my agency, into the women who walk through my doors carrying their own ruins and blueprints. We talk floor plans and custody schedules, backsplash tile and boundaries. We stage homes and stage comebacks. Months pass and life settles into a new normal. Lucas becomes a distant memory, a cautionary tale of ego unmoored. Then one afternoon my phone lights up with a number I know by heart even though I've tried to forget it. Aria, Lucas says, voice ragged. Please. I know I have no right to ask, but I don't know where else to turn. I'm losing everything, my career, my reputation, maybe my freedom. I need your help. For a heartbeat I consider hanging up and letting the silence answer for me. But I remember something my therapist told me about forgiveness, that it's less a gift to the other person than a key you turn in your own lock. I inhale, slow and steady. Okay, Lucas, I say at last. I'll meet you. Not for you. For me. We sit in a corner of a quiet coffee shop that smells like cinnamon and steam. He looks smaller, edges sanded down by consequence. Words spill out, regrets, rationalizations, shards of truth. I listen until he runs out of breath. Here's what you can do, I say, and I keep my tone practical, not cruel. Get a real compliance audit. Make restitution where you can. Own what you did without spin. Find a therapist who won't let you wriggle out of accountability. Make amends to the people you harmed, knowing they don't owe you acceptance. He nods, eyes glossy. Thank you, Aria. I don't deserve your kindness, but I'm grateful. I stand, sliding my chair back. Take care of yourself, Lucas. And remember, I pause because I mean it. It's never too late to start over. It's just never easy. Outside, late sun drapes the street in brass. I feel something loosen. A knot I've been carrying so long I mistook it for part of me. The past is still the past. It doesn't vanish. But it no longer pilots the car. I walk, and with each step I think of all the women I've met in open houses and closing rooms, in empty kitchens where the echo sounds like doubt. I think of Tessa, packing books into boxes labeled with a steadier hand. I think of the girl I was on the bedroom floor, convinced the night would never end. I am ARIA, survivor, builder, witness to my own return. Whatever comes next, I have the tools. I have the keys. And I'm going home.